Okay. So I wanted to chat a little bit about Brenna Bouchard's talk because it just really spoke to me. And I remember just like crying like a baby, which was pretty much all of Summit for me. So it was a super emotional summit. I just felt like everybody really touched my soul and my heart on what I needed to hear. So I was really grateful for that opportunity to be there. It's definitely something I needed. So Brendan talked about the 5 personal musts for motivation and success. So number 1, he said we need to raise our ambitions and refuse to settle. He talked about growing up in Little Butte, Montana, in this tiny house, and they were super poor, but if he would have let that define him, then he never would have raised his ambitions to become better. And I know in my personal life, I've felt that like it was just, a lot of us came from a small town and it was just status quo to settle for what everybody did. You just kind of went to work and paid the bills and struggled from month to month, and that's just what you do. But he just talked about how if we limit our vision and we let our past define us, then we can't reach our full potential. We need to rise above our yesterday and instead of being disconnected from our whys and our ambition. And then number 2, he said, live each day with intention. And I think sometimes we think that we can't move forward because we say that we're not ready, right? Or we're not the best. We're not at our goal weight. We're not a certain rank. And we let that kind of define us instead of living with intention every day to create those habits and that life that will get us to where we want to be. We don't have to sit and wait for permission to do something. We can give ourselves the permission and just do it instead of running away when life gets hard or when the business gets hard. So often with me, I kind of get stuck on something and then I just want to quit because it gets tough and I don't want to do it anymore. But I need to turn this off. It's going crazy. So he talked about when he was in college and had this girlfriend. They were planning on getting married, and she cheated on him and broke his heart, and he started slipping into this depression and not wanting to be with his friends or go to class. He was just kind of isolating himself in his dorm and contemplating suicide, and just knew that he needed an escape. And he and his friend actually went to the Dominican Republic for a summer to do kind of a tour guide type of job. And while they were there, they were in a really serious car accident. And he said he remembers rolling the car a bunch of times, and then he's pulling himself out of the car, just bleeding and just thinking like, this is it. I'm going to die right now. And just having that thought in his mind, like, did I actually live my life? Not somebody else's life and what their expectations were, but did I live my life wholly and fully to what I wanted? And as he was, kind of thinking about this, he kind of looked up and felt like God was giving him a golden ticket and saying, you're going to be okay. You've learned a lesson now, and I'm giving you a second chance. I'm giving you that golden ticket. Now you've got to earn it. And he just challenged all of us to every day evaluate our day. Did we live it with intention? Did we live? Did we love? And did we matter? And those are his questions that he asks himself every day. And he said, find your own questions, those own thoughts that will make you more intentional throughout your day. And he said, life isn't just one second chance. We get a second chance every single day. We get that golden ticket for ourselves every day, which I think is so powerful. Number 3, he said, I must no longer fear rejection. We need to get over rejection and do you. And that is when life opens up. I have actually been doing a lot of kind of personal development about this and about being passionate and being fearless. And it's been so amazing lately when I've just kind of let go of other expectations that I had on myself or maybe got from other people, and just tried to change that mindset to, I'm just going to do me, and I am going to shout my message, and if people are going to reject it, so what? I don't need them anyway. Those people that are on that same journey with me and that connect with me, that is who I want to be with. So I'm just going to do me, and I'm not going to fear rejecting those people that just don't jive with it, because it doesn't matter, right? He gave us that that kind of a challenge or a role play where we think about how many people in our lives have rejected us in a way that's shaped us. It's shaped how we act, how we think, our future, how we've done things. And usually we can come up with maybe 10 people that we have changed because of the way that they have treated us and rejected us. But so often we give them too much credit instead of thinking about all of the hundreds or thousands of people who have shaped us in a positive way because they've loved on us, because they've been okay with us, they've been okay with our flaws, and they've got our back. And so he said, if you are focusing on those people that rejected you instead of those thousands more that have your back and love you for you, then you're really bad at math. And I think so often we just focus on those no's so much. Like that's what drives our self-doubts and our fears to keep going for all those people that said no. But instead, we should just be focusing on those yeses and the positive and the encouragement from people, even if they never decide to buy anything from us. If they are still showing us love and encouraging us, then that's what we need to focus on, because that's the things we need to be bringing into our lives. He said, it is your time to be yourself. And I loved that message. Number 4 was, I must jump in and face my fears. And this part, he talked about how he was getting ready to go skydiving. And the whole time they're going up in the plane, they're kind of giving him some instructions, but he's just so fearful that he can't even hear what's going on. So by the time that he gets to the top and everybody's jumping, he starts freaking out because he's like, wait, what are we supposed to do? I totally forgot. Like, what are the rules? Because he was just letting that fear overcome. And I know that that happens with me so often, especially as I've struggled with anxiety. I get in those modes where you just can't think clearly, and you can't listen to the advice from your mentors or your friends or even the personal development you're doing. Maybe it's just going in one ear and out the other because you can't really connect with it because of those fears that are holding you back. And then when we let go of those and we ask for help, then we're going to be able to find success. And I think so often we just forget to ask for help. There's a huge team of us, and chances are at least one, probably a lot more, has been through a struggle in life or in their business that's really similar to ours. So if we can reach throughout our team and build that strong community of being asking for help and giving help as we've experienced those, I think that we can build something truly amazing. You know, I love when people are posting extra YouTube videos or trainings that they're doing in our team page. It's so helpful because I'm like, oh yeah, awesome, that's what I need too. And so I save it and listen to it through the day. So I really want to encourage us to do that more as we're studying and learning and sharing, because I really think that's so great that we can come together as a team and help each other out that way. But if you are wanting help on something, don't be afraid to ask for it, because like I said, I think there's a lot more unity and equality within our team than we realize. And number 5 was, I must find something to fight for. Okay, I'm a crier, if any of you know this, so I'm surprised I've lasted this long. Okay, find something to fight for. He talks about when he was first getting started, he was a writer. And so he would, go to the coffee shop with his laptop and his notebook, and he would pretend to write. And he would, get a coffee or a bagel and kind of go over notes, but he never really did anything. And then he would get home and was pretty much bankrupt at the time and was living with his girlfriend. And so at night he would set up his laptop in their little teeny apartment, and on their bed he had spread out, his papers and his vision boards and his stack of bills, because they didn't have anywhere else to put them. And as his girlfriend came in, trying not to interrupt him as he's writing, she climbs in bed underneath all of his stuff, and he looks and sees her literally sleeping under the weight of his bills. And he knew at that time that it wasn't going to happen any longer. She was worth fighting for, and he was going to get rid of his excuses and actually do the work. And there has been so many times in my business where it's like, oh yeah, I'm totally working, when you're like scrolling Pinterest for recipe ideas to share, or you're scrolling Facebook, or you're trying to find a engagement type post, right? Which, are necessary things, but I think sometimes in my experience, I kind of let those take up too much of my time. So instead of actually working, kind of pretending to work. So I think when we can work smarter, not harder, and actually dig in and do the work, that is where we're going to grow more, and we're going to actually be successful, and we won't be taking that precious time away from those that love us. When we can find something to fight for, like our families, like those other women that need help, and we are the answer, like a friend that needs us to be their support, they are worth fighting for. So I want us all to dream bigger, to know what our vision is, to share it boldly, and know that we have an opportunity that can make a difference in so many people's lives, but we have to earn it. So those are my thoughts that I wanted to share, and sorry for being a big ball baby mess.
Thanks, Katie. That was awesome. Great recap of his talk, which was amazing. You guys should watch the video of that one for sure when they get it posted. I'm going to share one of the last workshops I went to from 2 coaches, Erin Young and Stephanie Richardson. I liked it because it felt more concrete. Summit was a lot of personal development, which is great, but I also like practical stuff. So they started out by saying you have to create your vision, and I have to say that for the 20-something top coaches that we listened to at Summit, they all said something about visualization. Creating your vision for what you want out of this business. They said, where are you willing to let your business take you, take your family, take your team, and ultimately take your life? And I feel like coaches who don't catch the big picture have a harder time sticking through the hard stuff. So make sure that you're taking time to create the vision for what you want, short-term goals and long-term goals. And dream big. Visualize yourself up there on the summit stage. Why not? It could totally happen. A lot of the top coaches said too, after you have that vision of what you want, you need to share it and you need to make action plans and go for it. And then more than one of them said you need to get out of your own way. You need to work on your limiting beliefs and just get out of your own way. So that's something that I've struggled with throughout my 3 years of coaching. And I'm trying to get out of my own way more and more. So they talked about some no matter what activities, like activities that you should be doing every single day throughout your business, being super consistent. So the first one was to impact lives every day. They said, make new friends, encourage people on their journeys, plant seeds of possibility, and I'm going to add ask, meaning invite. Like you have to invite people to come with you. Number 2 was track your impact. And their 4 suggestions for doing that was using the business activity tracker that we have in the back office, Teamsy, using Google Streak or Google Sheets, and then good old-fashioned notebook and pen were their suggestions for tracking and maintaining your business. And they said what you track, you can improve upon. So if you don't track it, you don't know if it's working or not working. You can't improve it. You can't change it if you don't even know what you're doing. So find a system. I've been through several options. I did look at Google Streak once, and it just looked like way too complicated for my non-techie brain. So I am currently using Teamsy, and so far I'm liking it. It's not been that long, though. So just find something that works for you. Number 3, they said show up for you, and that goes along with the vital behavior of being a product of the product. So make sure you get in your workouts, your shakes, your personal development. Do that every single day, then put your blinders on and go to work. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. So I hope none of you are struggling with that part of it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't struggle to get my workouts in every day. It's just, it was part of who I was before I even became a coach. That part's easy. I guess PD is something that I need to make more of a priority of, but make sure that you are doing those things. I notice that when I am more fully involved in a program like I am right now with Shift Shop, my business goes better than when I'm just kind of floating or, doing this workout or that workout or whatever. Or I'm doing the workouts, but I'm not following the nutrition. So if you are dialed in on your own program, it kind of carries over to your business as well. And then number 4, they said, maintain a consistent social media presence. And we talk about that a lot. We talk about sharing our stories. We talk about posting every single day. And I think that is vital to keeping up your business. When I was pregnant, I wasn't necessarily, not pregnant, but after I had my baby, I wasn't necessarily working. I wasn't sitting down to do power hours, but I was maintaining my presence on social media. I was sharing my journey of getting back into workouts postpartum, that kind of stuff. So when I did start working the business, they didn't think that I had gone MIA on them. Like I was still there on social media, and so I didn't have to regain all that trust again when I started working again. Does that make sense? So even if you have to pull back a little bit, and there are going to be times when that has to happen, try to maintain some sort of presence on social media just to at least maintain your level, of trust that you'll have with the audience you've already built. Okay, so if you want to help more people, you need to invest in more lives. And it's a simple formula, right? If you're not hitting Success Club, if you're not hitting your goals, you're not impacting enough lives. So that's where you can start. After this little workshop, I think that they had some momentum going, because they're like, hey, what's that big goal? What's that big goal that you have been putting too long of a deadline on? they talked about how if you set a goal, you need to share it with your team, and then you need to set the pace. And she said it's important that you keep the pace fast enough that you don't lose momentum. She said a lot of times we set goals and we set them too far out, and so it doesn't give us that sense of urgency that helps us build momentum. So that's one thing too. So at the end, she talked about all this stuff, right? And at the end, she's like, okay, what's that goal that you've been putting off? And every single one of us wrote down this. It just came to us. It was like a revelation almost, right? Those of you that were there. And then they made us tell our neighbor. So my goal was to be 2-star by December. And then I looked over and I can't even remember who was sitting by me, but I talked to my coaches later. Katie Barrera said diamond by September, right? And I think that her goal had been November before that or something like that. Maybe. And then Katie Westonsko was the same. She had diamond out later this year. She moved it up. And then Leslie, she had the nerve too to write down diamond. Leslie's not even emerald yet, but she wrote down diamond by November. So there was something about that workshop that had us like, okay, we can do this. Let's make a goal. Let's set a deadline, and let's start moving. So I encourage you to do the same. Set a goal. Don't give yourself too much time. It doesn't need to take a year to go diamond. It took me 2, but you can do it in 6 to 9 months. You really can if you just push and believe. That's the hard part about going diamond. You just got to believe it. So it's totally possible. And I like to keep my calls short and sweet, so there you go. Unless you guys want to chat, ask questions, share your thoughts, go ahead and unmute yourselves.
Really, well, do you want to mute yours? Sorry, both Mary and I have it on, so I'm like echoing. So I love the goals that you guys all put, and that is super exciting. And I need to post it in the team page. I don't know if you saw it, but to go to the new leadership conference this time, they've changed it from needing to be a 2-star to a 1-star. Do you guys see that? Do you know how many of you can do that? Like, that new leadership conference is incredible, and you'll get to go to Beachbody headquarters and learn from, they usually have the top coach from the year and then somebody else that's there, and then you'll just meet amazing people. So like, tunnel vision, like go for it. And so many of you can be 1-star by the end of December. So just throwing that out there. That's all.
All right, anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna end it then. My kids are watching cartoons again, so I need to put them in bed. Thanks for hopping on. I don't know if I know how to put this on the team page, but I'll see if I can figure it out. See you, ladies.